So good morning once again to all the participants. So we are very happy to have you, ma'am, on behalf of ICT Academy and the educator fraternity. Let me welcome you and request you to deliver your thoughts on how the education and future is going to change for teachers, for India, and for students, and for all of us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ambuji, and good morning to everybody. First of all, I would like to thank ICT Academy for giving me this opportunity to interact with all of you. All of you, I understand that lot many right now I can see on the screen about more than 2,000 people have already joined, and many more would be joining shortly. So thanks to ICT Academy for this event Future of India, which is very, very important and relevant in today's time. Now, we all know that Corona has changed our life, and we are all waiting for something we call as a new normal. Like what the way we study, the way we even go to the restaurants, the way we socialize, the way we play, the way we do anything in life, everything is going to change. Even the entertainment industry is going to change. Everything is going to change post Corona. So therefore, there was a program with Sadhguru in which I was telling him that there will be now two lives, BC and AC. BC before Corona and AC after Corona. So before Corona, I mean, now we are also getting many WhatsApp messages like what was life BC. That is before Corona, everybody was meeting, students were going to the universities, colleges, restaurants were open, there were so many functions, so many gatherings. We used to have so many conferences from the AIU side. But now, all of a sudden, when this Corona came, everything was shut down. All of a sudden. But nobody could even think of it that this type of a scenario will emerge that everything has to shut down. All our universities were shut down, all our colleges were shut down, schools were shut down, and the students were forced to stay home. So this was before Corona. And right now we are after Corona, or maybe during Corona period is going on, but we have to think of the ways in which we have to live post corona, because everybody has to live. So if the situation is changed, we have to live in the changed circumstances. And when we saw that as soon as the university shut, and because I you must be knowing that I am having a long experience in UGC also. So in UGC we used to have a program called Swayam. In that Swayam, we used to search for teachers for preparing online courses. And you will be surprised to know that many a times we were not able to find teachers who are good both in teaching as well as in front of camera. Our teachers were very happy to teach to the class. They were very effectively teaching in the classroom situation where they were having a two-way communication with the students. But when they were told to teach to a camera, they were very camera shy. But in this Corona time, I am very happy to see that most of our teachers have adopted online resources, have adopted online mode of teaching, and they are very easily able to teach in the online scenario, in the virtual mode. But when we talk of, say, uh, elite institutions or the best institutions in the world, they have both the infrastructure as well as the teachers are sort of trained enough to teach online. But what happens to the elite institutions, what happens to the colleges which are in the rural areas? What happens to the universities in the backward areas where the teachers never had an exposure to online teaching? So for such teachers, and then there is a issue of infrastructure also. So when we think of the issues relating to higher education, I will go one by one. The first issue which comes is of infrastructure. Infrastructure is the basic issue. Now also many students are saying that we do not have the infrastructure, we do not have a device, we do not have the bandwidth. So if bandwidth is not there, how will we learn online? If we do not have a device, how will we learn online? Although the government is doing a lot, the internet has reached till the panchayat level in most of the till panchayat level it has reached, but still bandwidth is a problem. Internet is one issue, but having a good bandwidth for learning online is another issue. Now I understand that the government is also promoting in-house development of online platforms which can run on a lower bandwidth. If that comes, that will be a boon for our students in the rural areas. But again, what more thing which was done was like Swayam I was talking about, that in Swayam there is a lectures, video lectures are there, full platform is there like edX and Coursera. There's a Swayam, which is an India MOOCs platform where MOOCs courses are run. But the same content which is available on Swayam is also available on Swayam Prabha. So Swayam Prabha, what is Swayam Prabha? It doesn't need any network connection, it doesn't need any bandwidth. It is a TV channel, direct to home, DTH channel, and all the content of Swayam is available on Swayam Prabha to take care of such students. So infrastructure and more, I think AC, that is after Corona, the government will be spending more on technology and networking and the bandwidth. Now, I think, in my opinion, the expenditure will shift from buildings to infrastructure to technology to creating more networking solutions to creating bandwidth to creating more platforms. So technology enabled learning will is the future, and in future we cannot even think of this that we will teach only face to face. Face to face of course cannot go away. Face to face has to remain. Right now it is not there because of this critical situation, but post corona also, AC means after corona also, face to face will remain, but it will be largely a blended education, and the online will supplement the uh, existing face to face education in universities and colleges. So after infrastructure, the second issue which comes is the capacity building. Now infrastructure is there, but our teachers are not knowing how to teach online. So what at AIU, the small efforts which we made was that we held several workshops, online workshops for our teachers to tell them how to teach online. So those were very well attended workshops, and we are going to have many more in future. These will be free workshops which we will be having in future, in which we will be training our teachers to teach online. So those workshops, if any of you have not attended and if you feel that you want to know what are the different ways of online teaching, and online teaching again is not only just giving a video lecture, it means much more. There are many platforms, I'll talk about them later also. But online teaching doesn't only mean having online classes, sitting in front of the camera and teaching. There are many more things. There are how to give the assignments, how to sort of evaluate the students, how to assess the students. So all this has to be done online, for which we are organizing workshops. AIU, please go keep on seeing the AIU Twitter handle where we keep on announcing such workshops. And apart from the teachers, we also need to do this capacity building of the students also, because at times students are also not able to learn online because they are not trained on how to use these resources. So they have to struggle this. So after we teach the teachers maybe they have to teach the students, or maybe we will run some classes for the students also. Now, after infrastructure and capacity building comes third thing, that is platform. Now, many platforms are available. For example, earlier everybody was using Zoom, but then there were some issues with the Zoom. There was some advisory from the Ministry of Home Affairs also. Then more platforms people started using. For example, MS Teams. Day before we held a workshop with MS Teams in which a detailed procedure, rather a live session was organized on how to use MS Teams. If any of you had attended, you must be knowing it was a good session. And if you have not attended, and if you go to the Twitter handle, my Twitter handle, mine is Pankaj UGC, or if you go to AIU Twitter handle, AIU India, then you will see the full video of that lecture is there, that how to use Microsoft Teams. And then one more thing which we told everybody was that Microsoft has made Teams software free for all Indian educational institutions. So any educational institution, whether it is a university or a college or a school also, they can write to Microsoft. In that webinar, if you see the recording, a email ID is given. If you see the webinar, see that email ID, just send a request to that email ID, and you will be able to get a free copy of Microsoft Teams to have your online classes. Then it's not only Microsoft Teams, there are many TCS Glasshouse is there. TCS also will be having a webinar very soon. And TCS is also giving, at least for 1 year, they have promised that they will give to every educational institution free of cost. TCS, then there is a Google Meet, there are Blackboard. There are multiple platforms available, but each platform has some or the other feature. I mean, some platforms have some features, some have some other feature. So different features are there in every platform depending upon your requirement. That what is your requirement, whether it is evaluation, assessment, presentation, quizzes, online quizzes. So depending upon the your requirement, you can choose the platform. And right now, most of the platforms are free. And then when you talk of platform, there is also an issue of resources. That what type of resources are there? One is that you can have your own classes, you can have your own videos, but then there are umpteen number of online resources available. NDLI is one such thing, National Digital Library of India, where crores of resources are there. All the books, all the journals which you want to see, all the students who want to access these journals, these are available free of cost. Not only you can see and access these journals, you can even contribute. If you want to contribute to NDLI, that is also possible. There is a COVID button in the end. If you go to NDLI website, there is a COVID button. You can even contribute to NDLI so that other people are also benefited because of what you know. So these are the options available, but open resources, I mean, I don't know. Rather, I should say that till now, I have not seen such a plethora of resources which are available. It is only for the student to learn from them, but resources is not a limitation anymore. The best teachers of the world, the best teachers of India are having online classes, or maybe online lectures are already there, which you can have access to. It could be through SWAYAM, it could be through NPTEL, it could be through edX, it could be through Coursera, it could be through Khan Academy, it could be through Udemy. So many platforms are there, and most of the courses are free. The next issue after platform comes is assessment and evaluation. Now I understand that many teachers are worried, many universities are worried that how to hold examinations of the students, how to assess them, how to evaluate them, how to promote them to the next class. Now, when we come to assessment and evaluation, one thing which I would like to say is that in our minds, we generally have a fixed idea of examination as a 3 hour pen and paper examination to be given in the end of the semester. Now, this idea of assessment is unique to India. I don't think anywhere we are having this type of assessment, that only the way you will evaluate the learning of the student is after the full semester is over or full year is over, have a 3 hour examination and evaluate the student. There can be many more methods of assessment. There could be quizzes, there could be continuous evaluation, there could be assignments, there could be projects, there could be live interview with the candidates in the form of viva voce. So many ways are possible. So right now, I think it is time for the universities to change the methods of assessing and evaluating the students. And there are many platforms which are supporting many of these methods of evaluation. And using AI, artificial intelligence, there are now platforms which allow you to run proctored examinations. Proctored examination means that the camera of the computer or the laptop will work as a invigilator for the examination, and the student, when the person is writing, it could be even pen and paper examinations where you write and then submit, click the photo and submit, but the camera acts like a invigilator, so that it is a proctored examination. It could be objective type, it could be pen and paper. So all these things are available. You have to explore various platforms. Like this, Microsoft is having one such platform, TCS is having one such platform, in which online assessment and evaluation is possible. But again, I will again appeal to all the teachers present here that we should not feel that only way of assessing is having a 3 hours examination after the semester. There can be many more ways of assessing the students. Now, next thing after we come to assessment and evaluation is placement. Now, placement is something which is worrying everybody, because I hear that many companies which had offered offer letters, placement letters to the students, they are now withdrawing the letters. So that has become a very big issue for the university, and students are scared. Universities are worried how to place their students. So can we go for online placements? Again, at AIU, we did have a webinar on online placements. There was a company called Jivitham. So what they are doing is, I'm sure there will be many more companies. I only know about them, therefore I'm talking about them. But there will be many more companies for online placement. What they are doing is that they will give you a platform. You can have your own recruiters, or they also have their own recruiters. So the student will fill up their details. The student has to register on the platform. The companies are already registered on the platform. So the platform will do the matchmaking, that the student's CV matches with the requirements of which company. So once the matchmaking is done, and suppose there is a student A, and his matchmaking is there with one, two, three, four companies. So those matchmaking with four companies will be there. Then a robot will be calling the student from the first company, telling the student that these are the sort of profile of the company, this is the salary package, this is the work profile. And if the student likes, the he will say yes. And when the student says yes, then the company will fix an interview, online interview of that company with the student. And then if he is successful, then the online placement letter will be issued. And if the student doesn't like that company, he says no, then he will say no. Then the second company will call the student. Again, a robot will call and tell the profile, and then ultimately the interviews will be lined up, and the ultimate result will be online placement letter. So these type of platforms have started emerging because necessity is the mother of invention. Because this type of a issue when it arose, so companies and the private players especially, they work very hard to sort of not only take advantage of the situation, but to also to assist the universities, teachers, and students in such a scenario. So placements are there, and then after placements, internships are. I've not after placements. Along with the placements, they are also offering the internships to the students, because now internships is also a very big issue for the students. So internships are also offered through the online placement tools. But one thing which I want to say is that this is the time, this COVID is the time which can be used as an opportunity also, because right now many students are having a lot of time, the number of resources are more. So this is the time to upgrade your qualifications, upgrade your knowledge base, because in future when students go for the jobs, they have to upgrade. And if the teachers are listening to this webinar, please encourage your students to upgrade their knowledge, because this is the time when they can upgrade their knowledge. And this is the time the resources are in plenty, and most of them are free in nature. Like sometime when back I went for a conference. I mean, at that time it was physical conference. I went to IIM Bangalore, and CEO of edX, Anant Agrawal, was also there. And he was saying that once he was standing in a airport, and one student came running and he touched his feet. So he asked him, who are you? He says, sir, because of you I got my job. He says, I hardly know you, how can you get job because of me? He said, sir, I did 10 courses in edX, and when I went for job interview in Tech Mahindra, I was far superior than many other people, and some of them were even IIT graduates. So I was selected, they were not selected. In spite of this, I was not having a degree from a reputed institution. So in future, degrees are not going to matter. What is going to matter is the knowledge base you have. And this is the time when you can increase your knowledge base. And mind it, in future, the job scenario is totally going to change. In future, the traditional job work will not be there. In future, AI will be replacing many jobs which are already there. So for future, you have to prepare your students for the future jobs. Which could be in IT, which could be in editing, which could be in uh, some medical field, whatever. But you have to train your students for the future job and run. This is the right time to do it. This is the time when the students have time to go do this. This is the time when teachers have the time to encourage their students and guide their students on how to do it. And this is the time when plenty of resources are there. So I feel this can be done. And one more thing before I end, regarding future of education, is internationalization of higher education. Now, internationalization of higher education has got a major setback because of this corona. Many of the students who had taken admission in international universities are not able to go there, and many of the programs are being converted into online programs. Now, the students, I mean, if you know the data about the number of students coming in and going out of India, you will be surprised to know that every year about 45 to 46,000 students, international students, come to India, that too from countries like Nepal, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Africa. And the number of students who go out of India is something like 8 to 10 lakhs per year. And that they go mostly to what countries? US and European countries. And right now, US as well as European countries don't seem to be a safe option at present. Future, we don't know. At present, they don't seem to be a safe option. So, what I personally feel is that in right now, India is much safer. India has handled COVID in a much better manner than all these countries, and India appears to be a safer option than US and Europe. So, India can be a future destination for higher education. So, we should be prepared for it. We should be trying to take up this opportunity so that the number of international students as well as international faculty in India increases. Plus, if the education has to be online, international education has to be online, then India can again take a lead. We have some of the best teachers in our world. We have to train our teachers. The best teachers have to be trained in IT skills. And then we can lead in internationalizing Indian education to a great extent and taking advantage of this calamity which India is facing now. So I think India can have a presence in the international world very soon, and we should try our best to see the brighter side of COVID. COVID, of course, has a very dark side on one side, but we should try to see the brighter side of COVID and try to take advantage of whatever is in store for us. So with this, I would like to thank ICT, and I would like to end my talk. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I think few messages that you gave actually gave answers for a lot of questions where people were asking in the past. No, not only in today's session, in the earlier session. No, but more teachers whenever there is say such sessions, they were worried on two things. One, and they were worried how are they going to tackle their rural students, because when we talk about digital during this lockdown period, when colleges are all pushing students to take up something online, there is a little digital divide among the rural and urban, so that the rural had a trouble in adopting to what colleges is saying. I think you gave some answers which were the real answers for that. Would you like to just stress upon that ambiguity, ma'am?
I think, see, right now we must admit that there is a issue with regard to the rural students who are not having the access to the infrastructure. But what I was trying to say was that right now we were caught all of a sudden. It came all of a sudden. We were not prepared for it at all. But slowly, post COVID, as soon as the situation permits, the government is going to spend a lot in the area of technology
On infrastructure.
enhancement, in the network, in the
Yes.
bandwidth. So that will be there in future, and so far. And then also I told you that we are working on the platforms which work on the low bandwidth. So let us hope for the
Okay,
best.
okay. No, that will be excellent. I think working on low bandwidth, or no, you said about the TV, which channel
Mm.
which is
DT
working
Swayanprabha.
just like. So those kind of things can quickly solve some issues which is having specifically to the rural segment. So normally these questions always come by the virtue of this online and digital coming in very strongly. The respect to teacher, do you think that is going to go down?
Not at all. Not at all. Teachers
Mm.
will always be respected, but teachers have to adapt to the changes. The teachers, they need to, I mean, right now, any teacher in any subject, if he doesn't have the IT skill, the teacher is gone. So IT skills are important for each and every teacher, whether he is a history teacher, he or she, whether she is a history teacher, English teacher, sciences, social sciences, anybody. IT skills are a must. Like IT illiterate will be considered as a illiterate in future, because without IT skills you won't be able to do anything. So I will appeal to all my teachers that please acquire IT skills if you are not having them, and this is the right time to do it. There are so many online courses. If you do not have IT skills, don't be shy of it. Don't be shy of admitting that I am deficient in this. Just admit that I have, and then procure those skills so that the future is yours. So IT skills have to be learned by each and every teacher, each and every student, rather each and every individual.
Thank you very much, ma'am. In fact, you also mentioned about software tools like Microsoft Teams and all are trying to make it free. I think you are representing entire Indian educators and even trying to talk to those technology providers and push them to give either at free or at smaller cost to the education institutions to benefit. I'm sure we wish you continue your strongest role on behalf of all of us, all the
Thank,
educators across India, and help Indian education grow. All the best to you, and thank you
thank
very
you.
much for your inspiring session, ma'am.
Thank you
Thanks
very
a lot.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we